Boxing Day football for Newcastle United here at St James's Park for the last game of 2024 against an Aston Villa side who come here hot on the heels of a 2-1 win over Manchester City in the Premier League. Newcastle don't need any reminders how tough it will be here, but Newcastle's record against Aston Villa here at St James's Park is absolutely fantastic. It does seem a bit strange, but only last season Tindall scored against Aston Villa in the opening game of the season. Nobody could have predicted what happened next, but ultimately for Newcastle fans this is a real opportunity to see the team off for this year at home with a victory against the Villa side fighting for a European spot like Newcastle. Newcastle in much better spirits since the last time we opened up here at St James's Park for a Premier League game against Leicester. Newcastle on the back of a bad run then, but they've picked up that win against Leicester 4-0 since then. They've got through in the Carabao Cup and they've had a great win down at Ipswich Town as well. So Newcastle in really good spirits here. They'll be looking to sign off on a high in 2024 here against Aston Villa. 3 p.m. kickoff today. Well, Newcastle United have run out 3-0 winners here against Aston Villa on Boxing Day, and it could have been many more. 22 goal attempts by the Magpies here on a day of thrills and spills. A wonderful holiday atmosphere in the stands from a full house at Newcastle. And yeah, the game started unbelievably well for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon grabbing an absolute scorcher at the Gallagher end just a couple of minutes into the game. Things got a lot better after the break as well. Isak scoring the second to put Newcastle in full control here, and by the end Joelinton just put the lid on it with a third. Could have been so many more, as I say. Aston Villa had Duran sent off in the second half. Jason Tindall ended up in the press box, then in the stands after also being sent off. It was just one of those days that Newcastle have emerged here 3-0 winners, and they go back into a European place. So we've seen things flare up in the technical area quite a few times, certainly in the last 2 or 3 seasons. And Newcastle, remember at the start of last season, speaking about the new rule then in the technical area where you're meant to be 2 metres apart, the assistant and the manager can't stand together. A lot of people here at Newcastle think that rule was actually brought in for Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall, and I can see why. But today I think it really managed to really make Unai Emery boil over. He was screaming at the officials, he was shouting to the officials, because he was basically saying you can't have two people standing together or 2 metres. Basically today Newcastle well and truly pushed Villa over the edge, and it all boiled over at half time. We now know what happened in the tunnel. Eddie Howe standing it up in the press conference said, it was pretty much an 18 to 20 man melee in the tunnel afterwards. Newcastle players, a lot of them trying to be peacemakers really, trying to get Jason Tindall away from Aston Villa, but it just shows you how Newcastle have got some opponents now well and truly rattled. This today doesn't surprise me one bit, because I feel like Newcastle have definitely got the intensity back here now. Every team that comes here now between now and the end of the season will fear coming here, because such an unbelievable place when it's jumping like this and everyone's reading off the same page. And that's what it's been like for pretty much most of the season. There was a few games where it was quiet here, there was a bit of disbelief, that West Ham game back in November, but today and the last couple of games here, it's just been absolutely jumping. I thought it was today personally was the best atmosphere of the season, but look, today Newcastle fans walked away from here enjoying the festivities, and so they should. The team put on a really proper good performance in terms of what fans have been brought up enjoying here at Newcastle, just having a go. And that's all Newcastle fans have ever asked for. They haven't demanded trophies or titles. We'd like to see Newcastle win something, of course, but they just want to see the team having a go. And if the backroom team are doing the same in the dugout, then all the better. I think fans will be boosted by hearing what happened at half time, because that was a situation where it was people protecting each other and fighting for the badge, and the passion is there for all to see. So that's what happened at half time. Jason Tindall got sent off. He ended up in the press box, then he ended up in the stand somewhere around here. But yeah, you know, it was going to happen eventually. Someone was going to get sent off with, you know, the way Newcastle are in the technical area. But ultimately today, a great win, a 3-0 win, puts them in 5th place. They head to Man United for that final game of the year in great spirits.